fundamental principles of idealism. இதை பத்தி இதை பார்க்க போறோம். இப்ப ஐடியலிசம் அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன அப்படின்னா, இது வந்து ஐடியலிஸ்ட் அவங்க சொன்னது. அதாவது ஐடியலிசம் lays special emphasis on spirituality and considers it the ultimate existence. This doctrine has attached more importance to the mind and has described it as the key to unravel the universe. Idealism gives most importance placed to the spiritual truths and value system. Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram. It accepts them as eternal and omnipresent. Rust அப்படிங்கிறவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, ஐடியலிசம் which is at once both personal and objective while recognizing the independence of scientific inquiry that the material and physical universe is an incomplete expression of reality, that it exists not so but to subserve and request to complement it a spiritual universe. Yes, Ross என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, idealist philosophy takes many and varied forms, but the postulate underlying all is that mind or spirit is an essential world stuff, that the true reality is of mental character. Fundamental principles of idealism, அதை பத்தி நம்ம பார்க்க போறோம். இது வந்து யூனிட் 4, importance of the spiritual world. Idealists have divided the world into two parts. என்னென்ன அப்படின்னா, physical or material world and the spiritual world. என்ன ரெண்டு விதம் உலகத்தை பிரிச்சிருக்காங்க யாரு? ஐடியலிஸ்ட். ஒண்ணு வந்து பிசிக்கல் ஆர் மெட்டீரியல் வேர்ல்டு, இன்னொன்னு வந்து ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் வேர்ல்டு. அக்கார்டிங் டு ஐடியலிஸ்ட், the spiritual world is more developed and truer than the physical world. The physical world is mortal, changeable, and is a mere glimpse of the spiritual world, while the spiritual world is perfect, immortal, eternal, and unchangeable. I'll repeat again. The physical world is mortal, changeable, and is a mere glimpse of the spiritual world, while the spiritual world is perfect, immortal, eternal, and unchangeable. In the opinion of idealists, the supreme goal of life is to understand the spiritual world. இதை பத்தி பெட்ச்னர், FACHNER, பெட்ச்னர் அப்படிங்கிறவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, the physical aspects of universe is outer expression of universal mind. The physical aspect of universe is outer expression of universal mind. Leibniz அவர் என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, matter is in its essence mental or spiritual. Importance of ideas, இதை பத்தி ஜேம்ஸ் என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, universe is more like thought than a machine. Universe is more like thought than a machine. Idealists attach more importance to thought than matter. According to them, idea and not matter is true and real. Importance of man. Regarding the greatness of man, idealists opine that man is adorned with the fame and the prestige somewhat less than gods, and is a king of all objects made by God. Idealists have attached more importance to man as compared to the whole material world, material nature. According to them, man is an intelligent being who attains a knowledge of the spiritual world. Idealists opine that ideas are important in the spiritual world, and these can be expressed by man only. Thus, man not only transmits the spiritual and cultural heritage to his offspring, but he contributes it to it also. The importance of spiritual values. Idealist philosophers have laid down some spiritual values. These values are Satyam, truth, Sivam, goodness, and Sundaram, beauty. Satyam, Sivam, Sundaram. According to idealists, these values are eternal, divine, permanent, unchangeable, everlasting, ultimate, and universal. The man who knows these spiritual values comes to realize God. The process of our mind and knowledge, desire, and activity are helpful to know these values. Importance of mind. Idealists have attached special significance to the soul or mind. The truth cannot be attained in the physical world. The soul or mind is an important basis of idealism. That is not imaginary and it is real. Truth cannot be attained in the physical or material world. The soul or the mind is an important basis of idealism. That is not imaginary and it is real. Dr. Sinha, form of the world is mind. This is not mechanical. We cannot reduce life only into complex physical, chemical faculties. This is based on mind. The matter is an external form of matter. Now, idealism and the aims of education. The greatest contribution of idealism to educational world is about aims. Idealists have mentioned the following aims of education. Number one, self-realization. 2, personality development. 3, spiritual development. 4, preservation and development of cultural heritage. 5, inculcation of harmony in individual and the world. 6, realization of spiritual values. 7, realization of pure life. Spiritual development. Self-realization. According to idealists, the aim of education is self-realization. By self-realization is meant to understand oneself. Socrates has said, "Know thyself." Socrates. Each child is possessed of divine qualities. He can attain the ideal state by developing these divine qualities. To know these qualities is self-realization. Plato and other idealists have accepted the aim of life and teaching as the attainment of self-realization. According to Gentile, self-realization is the ultimate aim of education. Ross has expressed similar views. In his words, self-realization is a goal of life and aim of education. If a personality development. According to idealists, man is a supreme creation of God. So, his progress is the aim of education. Idealists want to use education to develop the personality of man and to actualize his inherent sublime faculties. Plato the aim of education is to build up an ideal personality and develop it. The aim of education is the enhancement of personality, the differentiating feature of which is feature, F-E-A-T-U-R-A, of which is the embodiment of universal values. Keep in none the aim of education should be complete development of individuality. so that he can make an original contribution of human life according to his best capacity. Ross என்ன சொல்றார் அப்படின்னா, the aim of education, especially associated with idealism, is the exaltation of personality. அடுத்து spiritual development. According to idealists, the goal of human life is spiritual progress, and they consider the attainment of those qualities as essential, which are useful for perfect, eternal, universal, and very real. So, education should be as so provided that each child can experience these values. Satyam, Sivam, Sundaram. According to Rusk, education must enable mankind through its culture to enter more and fully into the spiritual realm. Preservation and development of cultural heritage. For idealists, the cultural heritage of man and race are very important. At Ross has opinion, religion, morality, art, literature, mathematics, and science are the products of man's moral, intellectual, and aesthetic activities throughout ages. So, according to idealists, it is a aim of education to preserve and enrich this heritage. அடுத்து inculcation of harmony in individual and the world. Adams என்ன சொல்றாருன்னா, an aim of education is to inculcate a state of synthesis and the harmony in individual and the world. According to idealists, each object in the world has some purpose behind it. அதாவது ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு நோக்கம் உண்டு, படைப்புக்கு ஒவ்வொரு நோக்கம் உண்டு. மனித உயிர்களுக்கு அது பொருந்தும். Everything occurs here for the good. எல்லாமே நல்லதுக்கு மட்டும்தான் நடக்கணும். Everything is governed here by certain definite laws, one of which is the principle of unity. The state of harmony can be attained by following these laws. So it is an aim of education to maintain harmony in the world and to motivate a child to abide by these laws. அதாவது வகுக்கப்பட்ட விதியை பின்பற்ற வேண்டும், அதற்கு கட்டுப்பட்டு நடக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை குழந்தைகளுக்கு சொல்லித் தர வேண்டும். Realization of spiritual values. According to idealists, the spiritual values are Satyam, Sivam, and Sundaram. These values are eternal, everlasting, permanent, unchangeable, and true. They have not been made by man, they are predetermined. Man has got them in heritage. The aim of education is to make a child experience these spiritual values. On experiencing these values, a child's spiritual development becomes possible. In this connection, Hahn has said that an individual attains perfection on attainment of these spiritual values. So, a child's education should be such by which we can attain these spiritual values. Realization of pure life. Idealists consider the objects in the material world and the pleasures derived from them as false. They emphasize on spiritual development and experience of spiritual values and man's lives to be pure. They opine that a child should be inculcated by education the capability of differentiate between good and evil, proper and improper, desirable and undesirable. Only then he will be able to beget spiritual perfection. So, according to idealists, an aim of education should be the realization of pure life. At the idealism and the curriculum. Idealism constructs such a curriculum which is based on the thoughts, ideals, and experiences of man. According to idealists, curriculum should comprise of all the experiences of mankind, progress of social civilization and culture. Thus, idealists want to include both types of subjects in the curriculum, humanities and the science subjects. Curriculum Plato என்ன சொல்றார்? According to the famous idealist Plato, realization of God is the ultimate goal of life, and this goal can be realized by adopting the ideals of Satyam, Shivam, and Sundaram. According to Plato, these three ideals are related to the intellectual, moral, and aesthetic activities. So the curriculum should include all those subjects in it which are essential for a child intellectual, moral, and aesthetic development. The idealist curriculum includes language, literature, history, geography, mathematics, and science for intellectual development, release, ethics, and metaphysics for moral development. I repeat once again. The idealist curriculum includes language, literature, history, geography, mathematics, and science for intellectual development. அடுத்து religion, ethics, and metaphysics for moral development, and art and poetry for aesthetic development. J.S. Rose என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, he has emphasized on two types of activities in the curriculum: physical activities, spiritual activities. Regarding both the type of activities, Ross என்ன சொல்றாரு அப்படின்னா, physical and spiritual activities are not, of course, entirely separable, but they have certain of common ground. Moral values which are spiritual can be found in physical activities. According to him, hygiene, physiology, arts, skills should be included under physical activities of literature, art, poetry, music, religion, etc. should be included under the spiritual subjects. The famous philosopher Nunn has presented an outline of curriculum from idealist viewpoint. He opines that those subjects should find a place in the curriculum which preserve the existence of individual and the society, and which construct civilization and culture. Nunn has accorded an important place to ethics and religion for the protection of individual and the society, literature, history, etc. Herbert என்ன சொல்றார் அப்படின்னா, the famous idealist Herbert has given important place to those subjects in the curriculum which are helpful in the development of morality, because according to them, the only aim of education is the development of morality. Herbert has given an important place to literature, art, music, history, etc., and a secondary place to mathematics, science, geography, etc. With that, we end this topic. We'll meet you in the other topic.